Zootopia 2 claws its way to a box office first. James Cameron goes Scorched Earth on Netflix, and Donald Trump might just be a film bro? All this and so much more on this episode of Beyond the Screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Beyond the Screen. I'm your host, Ryan, and as I introduce Jake, I do want to bring something up. We are kind of unhinged this afternoon. We've had a lot of discussion beforehand, and something that I have to make sure you guys see, because I had to see it, is this abomination. For our audio listeners on Spotify, we are looking at what is on, I'm assuming, Alibaba or Facebook Marketplace, one of the two. Jake will confirm.
It was a marketplace listing that you can definitely find for sale on eBay and Alibaba. And
right.
Places. So this is custom, but it can be found elsewhere.
Right. It is a motorcycle helmet, a bike helmet, that is painted in the color scheme of Iron Man, but with the head shape, dreads and all, of a Predator, a yacht jaw from the Predator franchise. It is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. And this is what we looked at right before we started recording. This is what Jake thought would get us in the mindset, ladies and gentlemen, is this thing right here. You can also see the hand of the lister kind of popping in a little bit to take the image. And I think that's the funniest part, is you could kind of see a little bit. But anyway.
So they do have images of this thing open.
Oh, is it as glamorous on the inside as it is everywhere else?
This is the tech pack of it, if you will.
All right, here.
With a little bit more detail, actually. That one is actually missing detail.
Whoa. This one is missing a lot of detail. It has like the Iron Man decal paint. Like when you think of the Iron Man mask, you know, like the little mouth slit. It's got that painted, and it's got the fangs of the Predator on it as well.
Well, you want to know what it is?
What is it?
Well, the one on Alibaba, there is a difference. That you can get the one that we have on Facebook Marketplace, and then you can get the one that's right there. And then there's a white one, blue, red, black, matte black, and then there's a purple, which it's literally this helmet, but instead of red, it's purple. Still yellow.
Oh, okay.
Still yellow. It's nasty. But
LSU colors. Oh,
if you guys are into this, sorry for flaming these helmets, but
no, I'm not apologizing for that. Don't apologize to these people. Can you imagine you're driving, or you're you're on your motorcycle, you're riding down the highway, and you look over it and you see this
in Eastern Kentucky?
Yeah, that hurts my heart a lot. I grew up in them near neck of the woods, and I before we started recording, I was like, you need to tell me where that's from, because I was gonna absolutely go in.
And all I could tell him was that I knew it was from the East. Like I could just tell, but because I had the same question in my mind when I saw the listing. I was like, okay, I got to know who has this. I got to know what type of person owns this. And I go deep diving into their profile. I'm like, yep, tracks.
I know it tracks.
Like, Where is this? And I had to go find them again. And I was just like, look, Ryan, I'm pretty sure it's from the East. There's a chance it's Indiana.
And I'm over here defending these people like they're not like what you think. And then I see that.
West Virginia.
It hurts. It hurts. Anyway, welcome to Beyond the Screen. You made it to a film podcast, believe it or not, which technically we're talking about film, Predator franchise, Iron Man, right? Yeah. Like, we're on topic. We're going to start
put them together, and what do you get?
That, whatever that was. We're going to start our episode with some breaking news. Breaking news everywhere pops up.
Fox News.
Not that, though.
That's South Park reference.
Paramount announces a new event movie held within the Sonic universe that will release in December of 2028. That is fresh. About an hour before we started recording is when that was posted and announced. What do we think about a potential expansion of the Sonic universe? I've gone on record to say how much I hate the terminology of universe for every single franchise. I think they can be franchised without being universal in that way. But anyway, sidebar, tangent upon the terminology,
like,
I guess.
Like the terminology with content.
Well, I guess that's like, yeah, with the Barbara Broccoli and content, deep cut there. She had a meltdown. For those who don't remember that, we talked and laughed a lot about it. Had a meltdown when some Amazon producer, before they bought it out, called it content for 007. She was like, "It's not content." But
Sorry.
yeah. That's me with Universe. It's not Universe. It's a franchise. Yeah, that's me. But anyway,
So I think it's Fortnite. I think you get to watch the whole Sonic movie in a Fortnite lobby.
what leads you to that? Because you said that in the text chain when we were talking
Didn't
about it
that
earlier.
wasn't there was something that had happened prior several episodes ago that involved Fortnite. I thought had partnered with somebody. Am I wrong?
They might have. I'm not. I won't lie. I don't keep up with the Fortnite. Like I don't remember explicitly who they partnered with. I know that like right now the Simpsons are big. They partnered with them. Oh gosh, I don't remember exactly. I remember the Peacemaker when that was a whole thing on Fortnite, but I don't remember explicitly in the last few weeks who they partnered with.
I don't know. I thought it was just kind of like a.
I do remember hearing. Oh well, I do remember Paul Thomas Anderson in One Battle After Another. He was talking about somehow getting that into Fortnite, like the expanded what story or whatever. Am I remembering that correctly? I think so. But
No, this is like two big entities coming together. It could have been Disney. No, or was it an artist? Was it music related? I don't remember.
potentially. But anyway,
Yeah.
the point is that you saw something that could have hinted, and you think that maybe where Fortnite.
I
Was
called
hinting,
it. I called it back then. I said this is just events in Fortnite.
Yeah, right.
They've already had artists in
Yeah.
concerts in Fortnite. What's the next step? Or was it a TV show? Dude, I don't remember. That's like
Yeah.
it was like the debut or the finale was going to be hosted in Fortnite.
Oh,
or something.
yes. I do. I don't remember what, but I do remember reading something like that. This could be something similar. My whole thought, kind of removing from ourselves from Fortnite a little bit, just kind of off the dome. I'm okay with Paramount kind of expanding this universe because the films they feel like they're kind of going that route anyway. It's not like they're trying to force this type of arc on like a storyline that doesn't need it. So like as they're preparing for Sonic 4, like we've seen Amy, like we've seen I hate to call it, like I'm not like a super like Sega or Sonic fan. It's Metal Sonic, right? Like or like that's the character, like the robot version of Sonic, correct? I'm pretty sure that's his name. We've seen that character, and like as we continue to grow and kind of expand. Yeah, I thought it was Metal Sonic. As the franchise continues to grow, like we see more and more of these characters. We've already had a Knuckles series, if I recall. Like these are things that have already happened. So I feel like this is a natural progression to have like event movies in this franchise. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I look forward to seeing where they grow. Like, is this Shadow? Like, are we seeing more of Shadow? Because no way that there's zero chance that Amy's story is told outside of Sonic 4, because that's kind of what they're hinting at. That was the whole cliffhanger for Sonic 3. Right? Like, I'm remembering that correctly.
I didn't watch Sonic 3.
Oh.
I don't think I've seen Sonic 1.
Let me make sure I'm not.
I didn't play the Sonic games either. That's why I haven't seen the Sonic movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm correct.
What is Sonic?
He's a hedgehog.
Oh.
A blue hedgehog.
I was trying to be deep.
Oh. Maybe Sonic's the friends we made along the way.
When is Sonic?
Where? Anyway, I think it's a great point to go ahead and hop off of our breaking news and our unhinged entrance into the episode. We're going to quickly go into our micro segment, which is always, what are we drinking? In which we describe to you, the audience, who's always asking, what are you guys drinking? Yeah, we hear you, and we're answering the question. We're going to tell you what caffeinated beverage is getting us through the episode this fine Monday evening, this snowy post-Thanksgiving, beginning of the holiday season episode of Beyond the Screen. What are we drinking? Emily, come from behind the stage, beyond the curtain, and join us to tell us what we are drinking. So we'll start with you, Director Emily.
Thank you for asking, Ryan. This evening, I am drinking jasmine tea. It says jasmine with flowers. Jasmine is a flower, I believe, so I'm not sure what other flowers are in this beverage, but that's what I got. It's a loose leaf tea.
Could be rice.
I got it. I'm sorry?
Jasmine rice. Rice tea.
Yes, Right. Anyway, I got this at coffee time, a local cafe that has loose leaf tea, and it is absolutely delicious. Very glad I made this purchase. I'm also eating some caramel rice cakes with my little tasty treat tonight. So, passing off to Jake. What are you drinking, Jake?
Probiotic water.
Sponsored by. No, I'm just kidding. Oh no, he's gone. Bro's healthy.
That's fine, I guess.
Blueberry lemonade.
Ryan.
All I kept hearing in my head whenever you said jazz or jasmine tea. You like jazz? That's all I could think of. You like jazz?
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's like
I
jazz
knew that was
tea?
coming. I knew
Yeah,
that was coming.
she's holding up her
You like
cup.
jazz?
You like jazz? It's just jasmine tea. Anyway,
Mhm.
that's all I thought about. I'm basic. You know it. You love it. Black tea, Walmart brand, baby. We like it straight from the vine in these parts. Just normal black tea.
Gross.
Again, if I could inject caffeine into my veins and just do away with the whole drinking it part, I would, because then it would be quicker, right? So like the taste is fine. I actually don't mind the bitter taste, to be honest with you. I drink black coffee. I drink black tea. It doesn't bother me. So we going here. We doing it. To the dismay of Emily, who looks at me like I'm disgusting human every time I say it.
It's the experience.
Yeah, and there are times for that, and other times it's like, all right, download the podcast, caffeine, and then I have black tea.
Jasmine rice and jasmine blossoms are different.
You like jazz? Anyway, that's been What Are We Drinking? We'll go ahead and move on past our little micro segment. We'll move into our box office news, which is always the first segment of each and every episode here at Beyond the Screen. We're going to start with our predictions from last week. We're going to go into and see what we did and how we did. First, looking at what we predicted going into this week. I predicted 1, Zootopia 2, 2, Wicked for Good, 3, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, 4, Predator Badlands, and 5, Eternity. Jake predicted Zootopia 2, Wicked for Good, Eternity, Now You See Me 3 at number 4, and Predator Badlands at 5. Now knowing our top 5 for each of us, let's see how we did going into this week. Your boy almost had another 5 out of 5. I still lead the season series here in season 2 with 1 accurate over the entirety of the time we've been doing this for 3 or 4 months. So it's not like the whole season has been this way, but I got 4 out of 5 right, ranging from Zootopia 2 at 1 down through 4 and Predator Badlands. So Zootopia 2, 1, Wicked for Good 2, Now You See Me 3 at 3, and so on. Jake got 2 out of 5 correct, getting Zootopia 2 and Wicked for Good both correct. And then the rest of them he did not. He flipped a few of them. So with that out of the way, yeah. The thing is, we were both kind of on the right train of thought. It's just if you had flipped a few, you'd been right where I was. So it's not necessarily like it was a bad miss. You know, like you were very much on the right train of thought. But with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get into our box office top 5. The correct 5. As you heard earlier from my prediction, number 1 is Zootopia 2. 2 is Wicked for Good. 3 is Now You See Me, Now You Don't. 4 is Predator Badlands. And 5, hanging in there, is Edgar Wright's The Running Man, the remake from the 1980s with Glenn Powell. So we're going to go ahead and run through our top 5 and give you a little bit more of those numbers and tell you how exactly they did to get to their designated spots. So the story of the weekend is, as you heard from the lead-in, Zootopia 2, as it dominates the extended holiday weekend, earning the second best Thanksgiving week opening ever, only losing to last year's Moana 2, which is a crazy, number 1. I never would have imagined in a million years Moana 2 was the best opening for a Thanksgiving frame, but it is. And coming in second is another Disney, in Zootopia 2. So Disney's first of 2 December heavy hitters earned $560 million over the 5-day frame, the 4th highest grossing opening ever in the history of Hollywood, ever. $272 million of that came from China alone, more than the $158.8 made domestically. So China is heavily footing the box office earnings this week. China, as Jake references over in the corner. This $272 million also outran the original Zootopia's entire run in China. This is interesting for a few reasons, as the entire year up to this point has seen Hollywood's earnings in China plummet after the country said that they were going to moderately reduce the number of Hollywood-made films in the country. What this shows us is, for the right type of content or the right IP, Hollywood could still lean on China for a major source of box office revenue, again, if only for certain types of content. Back to Zootopia 2, it instantly becomes massively profitable for Disney on its $150 million budget. The film currently has a 91% on the tomato meter and a 95% on the popcorn meter, with a Rotten Tomato synopsis of, quote, Detective Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde find themselves on the twisting trail of a mysterious reptile who arrives in Zootopia and turns the mammal metropolis upside down. To crack the case, Judy and Nick must go undercover to unexpected new parts of town, where their growing partnership is tested like never before. So, Jake, honestly, are we shocked?
No. I can't wait to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, it seems like it's a lot of fun. It just, like, I've seen nothing but great reviews for it. Like, it's one thing, like, when you know it's a cash grab, but it's another whenever you feel like it's a good story. Like, it feels like they genuinely had something. Ki Kwan is the reptile, the snake that makes an appearance in Zootopia. We've actually responded and reacted in an episode months ago now of the trailer, and we both kind of had some interesting thoughts about it. But now that it's here, and now that you see with what we took from the trailers, if you can remember them, with what we've been seeing from not only box office responses, but from reviews, Jake, like, why do you think this film is doing so well, and why do you think maybe people are resonating with it?
Again,
having not seen it, I should make that caveat clear.
I've seen it. I think that I don't what do I think? No. Zootopia 1 was, I think, of one of the best stories, I guess, that's come out in the new age, I guess. I don't know when it came out. When did it came out, Ryan?
I'm looking it up. 2016.
2016. So, like, I know that's almost 10 years ago, but it's still one of the best stories to come out, like, in the late teens into the 20s. Like, I still think this is a heavy hitting story, and they kind of doubled down on it, which is to the point that I think Emily made a while back, was that it's like, how do we go from predator and prey racism to now we're straight back to racism? I thought, like, you're not solving racism, right? But, like, I don't know.
Mammal, reptile versus predator, prey.
Yeah, so now we're still on the same, I guess, type of topic, but I think it's the characters are really liked by a lot of people, and not for the weird ways.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of the meme too, joke about the people who like it in weird ways. So, like, that helps out and drive viewership as well. So I just think that, like, story, characters, overall ideas and themes, as well as it looks good. I mean, it's not an ugly looking film either.
Oh, it looks gorgeous. Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
And I guess the performances and the actors and the characters themselves are all likable in a way, or not, or disliked, or it's fun, right? Like, the what is it, Godfather references, like it's good for everybody, you know?
Yeah, I think you actually hit on an interesting point, and that's probably why it is so, like, not only is it good stories, not only are they likable characters in ways that we're keeping PG here, but primarily too is, like, they still kind of hit at a cultural debate that's happening in our country as we speak, right? Like what you were talking about, whether you believe one way or you believe another, there is a debate being had, and there are problems that are being solved. And I think that this is still hitting on that. And what's interesting too is I think that something that, like, with me, it's like, okay, this is still interesting. And, like, why I would be invested in watching it is, just because you solve one form doesn't mean you've solved all. Like you had said, like, you're not going to solve racism just by telling a movie. So the idea that, like, this, like, the city, because they did work that made it a better place. And I think the idea too is, like, spoiler, the first one, it's the sheep, right? Like, it's I can't remember what the mayor's name was, but you know what I'm saying. The sheep, that is the mayor. It, not
Bellwether.
all of, huh?
Bellwether,
yes. Mayor Bellwether.
Smellweather. Smellweather.
I don't remember. But
no, that's the nickname that the lion called her.
Oh, her name's Bellwether, but called, okay, yes.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, the point is too is that, like, that type of hate can come from unexpected places. And so now you have the idea of, like, you take that concept of what the first one was talking about, and you stick to your guns and you say, look, this is kind of how reality is. This city still has problems, and it is mirroring our own reality. I like that because it makes something as out there as Zootopia, right? Humanoid, anthropomorphic animals speaking and talking. It makes it grounded in a way that we can all relate to, whether or not you agree with it or not. I remember back in 2016, there was like a big debate of, oh, racist animals. Like it became a cultural talking point for politicians when the first one came out. It's not as much now, but and I think because people have accepted it as a good story. But I think that there's something to be said about them sticking to their guns, like you had said, and making the sequel still be the same thing and saying, look, just because they solved one problem, they haven't solved them all. I actually think that's kind of cool because, it does reflect and mirror our own reality, which allows it to feel grounded and allow audiences to connect.
So what's the metaphor for reptiles here?
Not a clue. I know, I mean, I haven't seen it again. All I can imagine is like, you got to remember too, the mayor is like a horse now. And
that's got to mean something.
Our horse, like notoriously scared of snakes. My wife was once a professional. Like she ran rodeo for a while professionally. She would like absolutely.
She was a clown.
She would no. She barrel raced for a while. So if she probably hears me in the distance going, "Are they scared of snakes?" They're probably like, "Yes, he's an idiot." Yes, but are notoriously like, I think elephants are scared of mice, right? Like horses are scared of snakes the same way. Okay. So obviously that's a key indicator there. But also it's like from the trailer, I remember it's like if there was some sort of information that came out, the city would not believe a certain type. So I mean, I think of like certain types of homophobia are like, I don't even know a gay person. So like being gay should be bad. Is that the kind of thing? It's like, I don't even know any reptiles.
That's what I was wondering. Is like, is this now not race? This is a sexuality thing?
Right. Like, is that where it's leaning? Because like that has been something that has been a cultural hotbed in the same breath is like, the less you know, the more afraid of it you are.
Or is it immigration?
That's a good question. I don't know. Because, well, I think I probably lean more sexuality.
Yeah.
Again, we haven't seen it. We're
gay people are scaly. Is that what you're saying, right?
No.
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 Throw
me in the corner.
Well, what's interesting is we didn't see any reptiles, to my knowledge. Like this was planned. 100% thought through. They 100% thought they were going to get a number 2.
Yeah.
And it did pan out. So
yeah, right.
Like, cause I'm thinking back and I'm like, I didn't even in Tundra Town or not Tundra Town, wherever the rainforest was.
Yeah.
Didn't see any frogs.
Yeah, right. Now, I want to point something out before you at home are watching this and point and say, you liberal. Let's make something clear here is that we were also, this is like the point of the movie is like that's like what Zootopia is trying to talk about. So we're just surmising what the next public problem is that they're trying to tackle.
It's not just a bunch of animals and cops and solving a mystery
but I love Nick Wilde
and I love Judy Hopps.
And we're the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry, I had to hit it. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on from the first one. We're gonna get into the rest of the top 5. I'll read through them. We'll talk about what interests us the most. Finishing second is The Battling Wicked for Good, earning $91.7 million over the 5-day extended weekend. This pushes its overall totals to $270.4 domestically and $391 million globally. Now, fans and analysts alike were both kind of freaking out over the course of the weekend as Wicked for Good dropped around 57% in ticket sales. When compared to other major Hollywood films, that's a big loss. Those Hollywood films like the major blockbusters, i.e. Wicked last year, dropped between 20 and 50% or 20 and 45%. That's the normal for these tent poles when they're that big. So dropping 57%, while that might be normal for most films, that's a lot. The thing is, while this is a bit steeper than expected, when you compare it to the original, it's on track to make more money. So a lot of people are freaking out. The original, mind you, made $758.7 million globally. The film's already at $400 in week 2, despite a almost 60% drop. Wicked is fine. I want to put that out. Like, the internet was in an uproar. 60% drop for Wicked. The film is going to make $500 million or more. It's going to pass 800 probably. It's fine. Like, chill out. I had to say that. Chill out, everybody. Wicked's okay. Moving on. Lionsgate's third Now You See Me installment earned $10 million over the 5-day weekend, finishing third. The film has pulled $186.9 million globally on a $90 million budget. So again, we're seeing a lot of profitable films this weekend. Speaking of profitable, Predator Badlands continues to hold its grip on the top 5, earning $6.6 million over the holiday weekend and finishing fourth. Badlands has made $173.7 million on a $105 million budget, thus becoming the highest grossing Predator film of all time. And you know what's crazy? The film it passed was Aliens vs. Predator, the original in 04. That was the highest grossing Predator film of all time. I could not believe it. Or at least domestic earning. I could not believe that. But anyway, rounding out our top 5 is Edgar Wright's box office dud, The Running Man, earning only $5.5 million on the 5-day weekend. Other notes throughout the rest of the box office: Eternity, starring Elizabeth Olsen, finishes 6th, earning $5.24 million, on the 5-day weekend. The Rental Family, starring Brendan Fraser, finishes 7th with $3.1 million over the 5-day weekend. And Hamnet finishes 8th, earning $1.35 million. Also, keep in mind, Stranger Things 5 released this past week, and it was so hyped that Netflix crashed the opening minutes after Stranger Things was released.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've seen nothing but hate.
A lot of people were tuning in. I've heard some decent things about it, but also I've seen some back and forth. It kind of is mixed reviews for the early part of the season. 2-hour episodes for the rest of it. Like, insane. It's like 8 movies is from what I've heard. And the reason I bring that up too is because everybody is kind of pessimistic when it comes to box office numbers and if film is fine. This year, compared to last year, the Thanksgiving holiday weekend did not earn as much. And another thing to think about, too, I went and watched the latest Knives Out this past weekend, which only was released for a 2-week stretch so that it could be Oscar nominated or Oscar potential, right? That film broke a Rian Johnson Knives Out theme of finishing top 5 in the box office. Didn't even sniff the top 5, right? Dang. Yeah, did not even sniff. The problem is, people are assuming it's a Netflix original, so they're going to wait the 2 weeks until it comes out on streaming. And
600 theaters, by the way.
Yeah, which is crazy low. And Stranger Things came out. So I don't think that I don't think you can necessarily judge when last year you had Wicked and you had Moana 2, and then nothing on streaming. There was relatively nothing competing, making people stay home. Then you have one of the biggest streaming, what's a good terminology for Stranger Things? Just series, I guess. One of the biggest IPs for streaming releases its season finale the same week of Thanksgiving. I don't think that says anything. I think, if anything, the fact that the box office made as much as it did despite that says a lot. But anyway, that's my own personal opinion. So, Jake, what do we think about the box office outside of Stranger Things?
I can't wait for next week.
Oh.
Hamnet had a limited release this week. Eternity, I thought was going to do a whole lot better. It didn't get as crazy of a release to 1,300. And then what else we got? That's about it. Looking through here. No, yeah. So next week is huge because
tell
Five Nights at Freddy 2. Can't wait for that.
And
that's it.
No. And
what's the word I'm looking for? The ever waited for
Jujutsu
Kaisen.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen.
So the long awaited,
highly anticipated
anime movie that because the last season that came out was in 22, I think.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that old.
23. December of 2023. So we've been waiting 2 years.
Almost 3.
December of 23. So it's been
2 years. Sorry, I'm dumb.
It's coming up on technically a year and 11 months. And so we're like we need it.
This is a good place to announce. Next week, me and Jake are going to be discussing Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and JJK Execution, which is the name of the new film. I have been grinding JJK these past few weeks. I'm almost done. I think I've only got like 12 or 13 episodes left of season 2 before I'm fully caught up, which is in perfect time for the release of the second JJK film. And then just in time also for the January season 3 release, which I'm already looking forward to, and I've not even gotten all the way caught up yet. So next week, come back, and our major topic of conversation will be we won't be comparing them, but we will be discussing both Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and JJK. They're going to pull the same audience, so we're going to be pulling a double feature, and we're going to be talking about it. But with that, I think we're going to go ahead and jump into our predictions, which we have an interesting little wrinkle we're throwing in there this week, aren't we, Jake?
Maybe.
We'll start with you. Let me know why your top 5 looks the way it is. Go.
I copied you.
I know you did.
No. Well, so I'm looking at the numbers, right?
the
Looking
numbers.
at the numbers. I'm crunching them. All right. And I try to go by that 50%. And now that I look at it, I'm going to be talking out of my butt if I'm using the 5-day. So let's go to the 3-day this past weekend. Finalized numbers, Zootopia got 100 million on the 3-day.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it was holiday weekend. Generally, with like Wicked or even like normal movies, I give it like that 50% generalization. 50 million is a lot. And I don't know if Five Nights at Freddy's, the sequel, mind you, will pull the 70 million that the first one did. Especially when you have Zootopia 2, Wicked for Good, and Five Nights at Freddy's coming out, or all being within the theater at one time. I just don't know if it's going to pull 70 like its predecessor did. So I have put Zootopia 2 at 1, Five Nights at Freddy's at 2, and then Wicked for Good, because I still think they're going to probably track pretty well to be around that 50 to 60 points. So I'm expecting a high 20s for Wicked for Good. And then we did see an upset with Demon Slayer, and Jujutsu Kaisen could have that. I just don't know if it's going to crack mid 20s. I don't know. Like I don't know if a lot of people are going to go see it. Maybe people could treat it like a double feature, but I've got it at 4. And then I've got right?
I'm noticing I accidentally have 6 as well. That's my bad.
You have 6? Okay,
Yeah,
we're doing top 6 this week.
Yeah, my bad. I got so excited for this week, I accidentally put 6. So we're doing our top 6, I guess.
Okay, JJK is at 4. And then something that I saw that Ryan put in there and I saw that was on the release radar was Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, which I assume is the entire series. Is it 3 movies?
It's volume 1 and 2.
Both 1 and 2. Okay.
With extended scenes, like scenes that were cut that we haven't seen before. Like it's a whole. Yeah. I forget how long it is, but it's like insane.
It's 4.5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot.
So I've got Kill Bill at 5, and then Now You See Me, Now You Don't at 6, which is kind of the same as Ryan here.
Very close. I think that's good jumping off. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm interested to see JJK versus Wicked. I agree. I think Zootopia. I don't think Zootopia is going to drop all that much. I think Zootopia has a stranglehold on that specific niche audience. I think that you'll have families who will go and watch it again. I think that you will have a lot of people who will stick around for that. So I'm having Zootopia 2 at 1 with FNaF. Holding on into that realm at number 2, I think exactly the way you said. It's going to be tough. I think Zootopia will still be around the $100 million mark. Maybe, let's say, closer to 75. I think FNaF will be closer to 60, 65. So I don't think it'll be far off from the original 70. Then I have JJK. And Jake is frozen, so I'm gonna ad-lib here, ladies and gentlemen. So you got me for a minute until he comes back. But
what the heck?
I have. Oh, he's here. He's just
I'm
frozen. Here. Okay, good. Sorry, our audio listeners. Jake is frozen in a hilarious position. He's back. He's back.
Swap cameras.
Yeah, he hot swapped here. But I have JJK at 3rd with everything we've been talking about. Now, remember earlier this year, wasn't it? Earlier this year we saw Zero. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 release, which only was Wednesday through Friday, and it still made tens of millions of dollars without a weekend release, right?
Not JJK. Wasn't JJK.
Or that, yeah, was it not?
It was Chainsaw Man?
No,
Or
Chainsaw Man-
Man got one.
Yeah,
Demon Slayer got one. And was it a re-release of JJK?
I think it was a re-release. Well, the only reason I think it was JJK is because Demon Slayer popped off and Chainsaw Man popped off. But it could be wrong. It could have been one of those two that was... I thought that there was a JJK re-release this year. But either way, the point is Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man both absolutely dominated. Chainsaw Man in particular made hundreds of millions on what, a $4 million budget? So I think that we're going to see JJK absolutely swoop by. And I think Wicked is struggling from the same audience going to see Zootopia. I think they could pull some FNaF. And so when you have, on top of it, another highly anticipated anime film coming out, I think that you're going to see Wicked fall. Then I think finishing fourth will be, this is fifth. Yeah. Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. I think that I've seen a lot of stuff about it. I think people are nostalgic enough. They're waiting for the last Tarantino. And I think this is a good way for him to drum up more attention. And then sixth, because I don't know what I was thinking when I was writing this morning. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I think it will finally drop out of the top 5. I think everything else slides down. Zootopia 1, FNaF 2 at number 2, JJK Execution at 3, Wicked for Good at 4. Yeah, at 4, Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair at 5, and Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Yeah, you were right. It was the actually first 1 through 4 of season 2, and
I thought so. I thought that was JJK because
So
there was a
the-
lot of
the
hype for
movie-
this one.
the movie that they came out with was 4 episodes of season 2 and the movie,
Yeah, or 5 episodes of season 2.
or 5 episodes of season 2 as a
Yes.
movie. As a
Yes.
movie.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. I knew that there was some hype around this, and that movie, that compilation made a ton of money in the 3 days it was in theaters, right? So
It made a ton of money globally. It did not do well in here because it was Wednesday and
right.
Thursday.
But the other anime films that released on a regular weekend did great. Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, and then on top of the global release of the weekend or the weekday tentpole that was the original JJK compilation. So I think that Execution you'll see a ton. Especially you talk about the fan base is hungry. I see why, having binged it and almost finished it now, after a 2-year wait, why people are hungry for it. I cannot speak enough about that series. I'm delightfully surprised at how much I enjoy it. And so I look forward to this a lot. I do think it will finish third. I'm not naive. It will not beat Zootopia or FNaF, but I do think with Wicked dropping 60% with the same audience, still probably leaning more towards Zootopia, I think that you're more likely to see a stronger showing from FNaF and Jujutsu versus Wicked. But that's just personal.
Boo. Anyway,
Boo. All right.
Emily said she is dressing up for Five Nights at
Yes.
Freddy's
She's going to be
and-
Chica or whatever.
or whatever.
Quote,
Megan
unquote.
Fox or whatever.
I think that is a...
Markiplier.
It should have been Mark, but should have been Mark. Whatever. Won't say anything. On that note, throw up the gum graphic. There it is. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and hop out of segment 1 and into segment 2. So coming up after the break, James Cameron goes Scorched Earth on Netflix. Hear about it up next. Welcome back to Be On The Screen. You made it to segment 2, which is our major story segment. This week we've got one, kind of two, depending on how you look at it. We got 2 pieces of discussion about one man, and that man is James Cameron, one of the best directors of all time. They have a saying in Hollywood that you read about all the time if you're a avid reader of like the Hollywood Reporter and Variety and Deadline and such. It's don't doubt James Cameron, right? Never doubt James Cameron. I mean, the guy has 3 of the top 4 highest grossing films of all time, right? Like, never doubt James Cameron. But what happens when James Cameron doubts himself? What are we supposed to do then? Well, that's what we're here to answer, as James Cameron is prepared to say goodbye to Avatar if the film proves to be unprofitable and thinks Netflix films shouldn't qualify for the Oscars? Let's dissect the Jimmy Boy's comments, shall we? With the upcoming final stretch in the lead up to James Cameron's 3rd installment into his Avatar series, fans and analysts alike are all wondering the same thing. Can this film be as profitable as the first 2? Again, as you heard in the lead up, They are both top 3 or 4 in highest grossing films of all time. I mean, after all, as I said, the original has earned $3 billion or just under $3 billion, and The Way of Water sits at $2.3 billion earned. Yet, even Cameron himself seems to doubt whether or not he's going to be making any more after this one, which is titled Fire and Ash. Speaking on the Town with Matthew Bellani podcast, Cameron discussed the production budget for Fire and Ash. Quote, "It is 1 metric F ton of money, which means we have to make 2 metric F tons of money to make a profit. I have no doubt in my mind that this movie will make money. The question is, does it make enough money to justify doing it again, according to IGN?" When discussing the forces, quote-unquote forces working against the film, the prolific director coined a term, sequelitis, describing how, unless it's a 3rd installment into the Lord of the Rings franchise, quote, "where you want to see what happens to everybody," end quote, audiences have a tendency to turn the other way for such projects. While to Cameron, Fire and Ash is the same type of culmination as The Return of the King, there are also other factors at play, those being audience tendencies in the modern era, as well as the 1-2 punch that is COVID, as according to Cameron, and the continued rise of streamers. The director surmises that theater chains across the nation have lost around a quarter of their audiences since 2019, making a $2 billion three-peat at the box office all the more unlikely in his eyes. If Fire and Ash does ultimately prove to be unprofitable, Cameron ultimately has a contingency plan. Quote, "There's one open thread in Fire and Ash. I'll write a book." Cameron would also, Cameron would also explain that after so much time in the world of Pandora, if this is truly the end, he is content with that, just writing a book and ending it all. Stating, quote, "I've been in Avatar Land for 20 years, actually 30 years because I wrote it in 95, but I wasn't working continuously on it for those first 10 years. Yeah, absolutely sure. If this is where it ends, cool." So Jake, if James Cameron himself isn't comfortable saying whether or not Fire and Ash is going to be profitable, should we be confident that we will see the 4th or even the 5th installment?
It does put it kind of in a rocky perspective where you don't know if the creator, the man you look up to, was one of the most profitable films. Is the most profitable film in the world anymore. I don't think. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Infinity War, or no, it was Endgame passed it, and then Disney re-released Avatar and it took it back.
Oh,
yeah. So Avatar, the original, is still number 1 at
They did that on
2.9
purpose.
billion. Yes, they did.
So when they re-release Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water in some weird weekend, they're both going to be at the top then?
Probably.
So, okay. Hold on,
If I remember correctly, and I don't remember if this is IGN or if this is the Collider that I read this on, but right now, if the film were to release today and it were accurate to projections, it would finish 8th all time. So a drop, but still top 10. Is that enough for Disney to continue making them?
I'm looking at their budgets.
Mm-hmm.
2009's not. I assume this is not adjusted for inflation.
No.
237 million to make.
Yep.
The Way of Water, from 2022, 350 to 460.
Jeez.
Almost $500 million to make, and The Way of Water made back 688,000. So that's why he's probably a little worried, because he was cutting it close on just a domestic standpoint, whereas worldwide he made 2 billion, 2.3 billion. But from a domestic standpoint, I don't know. Like, can you be like, oh, I spent $500 million but made 2.3? I don't know if I'm gonna break even on this one, dude.
Yeah.
I've been around people that have spoken very highly of Avatar and not even known who James Cameron is. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go with, like, it's nice to see that he's got a contingency for the IP to finish it. And I know I'm a little slow for you visual watchers.
He's cutting in and out a little bit, but that's okay. You still look good. Keep going.
I don't think it. Like, I'm glad he has a contingency with the book, but I don't think it matters. I think it'll do just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, who's to say he's not this pessimistic with every release, right? Like dating back to the Titanic, which is the other film in the top 4 that's not Avatar. But yeah, by the way, he also, everyone think of James Cameron as the Avatar guy. He also did Titanic and Terminator 2 or Alien. Yeah. Or no. What was his other ones? I'm
He did
blanking.
Aliens.
Yep. He also did. Yes, Terminator. I knew I was right. When you said Alien, it for some reason it like threw me for a loop. Yeah, he did. This is the guy that's done Terminator. This is the guy that's done Avatar. He's also just, randomly done Titanic. This is a guy who has, he's probably the best director of all time. Let's be real. Like, he's up there with Steven Spielberg. And Alfred Hitchcock. Like, you cannot say those names without James Cameron involved, right? So
he wrote Rambo.
Of course he did.
He wrote based on a movie written by that's a video game. Sorry. Rambo First Blood Part 2, he did the screenplay.
Interesting. This is what I'll say. There's a possibility that he is always this pessimistic, that he swings for the fences and it's never doubt James Cameron, but behind the scenes he's always this pessimistic. And this is the first we're seeing of it because he has real reason to actually being this pessimistic, right? So yeah, what you're saying, there's always that opportunity. But the thing is, the sequel, the original sequel, I'll say, Way of Water, had 10 years of nostalgia baked into it, right? Like that had a lot of people excited, and it still didn't earn as much as the original. Is 3 years enough for people to still get that same nostalgia? Do people care enough about the world of Pandora to go back and see it? I don't know. I know I'll be seated because of the experience of a lifetime to be able to sit through that type of series. I don't know. If the guy himself is nervous, it makes me nervous. It's like, what do you know? What do you know behind the scenes?
Is he just gonna kill 4 and 5 that on IMDb say is in post-production and filming?
So from what I understand, they've already done a ton of filming for it because the characters age out. So they've done a ton of filming, but the filming's not the expensive part, right? Like it's everything else. It's to make it Pandora. So from what I understand, they still have a ton of filming to do, but like a lot of the filming has been done for those. And I know they released in like 2029 and 2030, I think, is when the 4th and the 5th, or 2031 or something crazy like that. Yeah. So something else too in these articles, James Cameron was asked if he'd hand over the keys because he'll be almost 80 by the time these release, or 80 at on the money when these release. And he's like, no. He's like, I will not do that. He's like, I think what he said was like, if I am not directing, I am producing. Like, I am there making this thing. So we have to hope, 1, for his good health, 2, that people actually turn out for it, because I want the series to end on the screen. I would hate, can you imagine like 20
I'd hate to have to read.
Well, no. Just imagine 20 years from now, it's like, yeah, the book was great, but could you imagine if we saw this? Could you imagine if we saw this on screen? Like, I want to be able to, like, this is the guy's magnum opus. This is his finale. This is his biggest and best creation. Outside of Terminator, outside of Titanic, this is better. So, like, I would like to see him finish it just for his legacy. But the thing is,
I don't think he's lasting.
You don't think he's surviving long enough?
No, we've had this conversation before where I think James Cameron's going to die before 2031.
You know what, though? I have the same thought with coaches, because I've seen a lot of coaches have the same problem, is their work keeps them alive. When you're a workaholic your entire life and you stop working, you see coaches when they retire, they die. Not long after. I worked for a coach that happened. He has since passed on. He was retired for 4 years, right? Like, and then heart attack, and he's gone. And it's just like, and you've seen this a lot with coaches who coach into their older years. And I think the same thing with directors. You have these people who work in these types of fields where they don't have regular hours. They're working nonstop. Their brain is going. And then when you stop that, your body doesn't know what to do. So I think James Cameron, as long as he's working, I think he'll be fine. I think if he retires after Avatar 5, if we're lucky enough to get it, I think we'll see him not last much longer after that. I think he will probably pass away. But like, as long as he's grinding out these movies, I think we're all right. I think we're going to keep
he's writing a book.
Yeah, right. James Cameron's coming out with a movie. Yes. He'll live to 90. But if at 85, if he retires, oh boy. Anyway, kind of a morbid thought, but I mean, like, it happens. Like, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of the nature of the business. Coming from like a sports background and doing this as well, it's interesting, the parallels. They're very similar. Like, a coach and a director, they're the same thing, just different case. Like, same software, different case. Very similar. But anyway, that wasn't all James Cameron had to say. He had a lot to say this past weekend, and not just to, I don't even remember where the podcast. He went to the podcast with, I'm trying to give this guy his flowers, Matthew Belloni. Give him all his flowers. He talked to Matthew on his pod. Then he turned around and he went to Puck. We've referenced Puck a few times. They're a media outlet who talk about pop culture and entertainment. If James Cameron himself, later in the week, Cameron would sit down for an exclusive interview with the media outlet Puck, as I had said, and would discuss the potential sale of Warner Brothers Discovery, specifically regarding to a sale to Netflix. Going completely scorched earth, Cameron explained, quote, Netflix would be a disaster. Sorry, Ted, who is the CEO of Netflix, but geez. Sarandos gone on record saying theatrical films are dead. It's sucker bait. We'll put the movie out for a week. We'll put it out for 10 days. We'll qualify for the Academy Awards consideration. I think that's fundamentally rotten at the core, according to The Independent. As explained by The Independent, Cameron is a longtime defender of the described, quote, theatrical cinematic experience, with Cameron himself describing that films should be made for theatrical. To him, quote, the Academy Awards to me mean nothing if they don't mean theatrical. I think they've been co-opted, and I think it's horrific. The director would emphasize how streamers in general have thrown, quote, crazy money, end quote, to attract all kinds of A-list talent, only to then pull the carpet from out under the box office in general. Quote, the bigger budget movies like Dune, Wicked, Avatar, whatever, they're not getting greenlit for streaming. They're also not getting greenlit by the theatrical side of the existing majors. It's fallen through the middle. So, Jake, what do we think of Cameron's take on the current state of Hollywood? Is he accurate? Is he old and out of touch? Or a mixture of the two?
He's just a boomer. No, I'm kidding. He is, mind you, 1954.
Definition, yeah. Definitively.
I don't think he's necessarily wrong. I can't hate on if the rule is you can put a film in for 10 days and get considered for an Academy Award. That's the rules, right? Like, I don't know. Like, you and I getting into film, like getting into a theater with a short film for 10 days and then being up for an Academy Award, we'd do it in a heartbeat.
Right.
If we could scrounge up enough money or somehow get it in for 10 days to get an Academy Award, we'd probably do it and pull it out because we ran out of money, but like, or however that works. So Netflix is not running out of money by any means. However, if you don't need to come out with a theatrical release to be profitable, however, want or your shareholders desire an Academy Award, or at the very least consideration to be nominated for one, then you put it in for 10 days and then pull it out. Like that's just like, that's the business side of it, right? Like that's why you would do that. Now, is it awful and fundamentally rotten at the core? Who said business wasn't?
Right. I think that's a great line. I think that's a fantastic point.
So that's just kind of like where I'm at. Is he wrong? No, but at the end of the day, that's business, right? Like, I want an Academy Award, but I don't want to have to deal with a theatrical release solely to get money. I have other means.
I think this is going to be a wild first sentence, but I need you to follow me here. I think that this is what he's getting at is Netflix is kind of, they found a loophole, and they are taking advantage of a system that's in place to protect the indie developer. So
and it's older. It's an older system.
Well, it's not just that it's old, but like, so for me, it's like the debate about capitalism. Excuse me. Do you rig the system for the poor man, or do you allow those like systems in place to help the poor man be taken advantage of by the rich, right? Yeah. So what I mean by rig the system is like, do you go through the Academy Awards and you say, hey, Netflix and all these bigger like publications are like, well, whoever have to go longer than 10 days, but indie films don't. Is that fair? The question is that fair? Because then you're saying you have to take a loss if you know that film's, like, say you're making a film that you know will do better in the Academy or at the awards than it will in the box office. For Netflix, they don't have to make a net profit or a net loss because they're making it in-house, right? Like their money comes from subscribers and people watching that film. So for them, they're not putting it out there. They don't have to take the loss, but they still get the Academy Awards. Are you, as the Academy, are you saying Netflix, you have to take that loss if you know it's not going to be profitable so you can be in the Academy? For Netflix, you're saying, I don't care about the awards then. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, they're still going to be winning audiences and subscribers love if those producers and directors still continue to make content for that said platform. Will they lose some people if they can't make an Oscar run? Probably. But I don't know. I guess like that's the question is, do you rig the system to help the indie developer and protect them against those at the top taking advantage of the system meant for them already? Or do you allow Netflix to continue taking advantage of, again, a system already in place to protect them? And when I say protect them, the reason the 10-day is what Jake had said earlier. If me and Jake make a film and a theater chain picks it up for just 10 days and we're eligible for the Oscars, we wouldn't have been before. We don't have the money to do a national chain or a national run. We're lucky. For Netflix, it doesn't matter. Any chain would pick them up. So continue.
I was just going to say, on the topic of Netflix, they have released a trailer for Diddy the Reckoning, which is a 4-part documentary series with Curtis Jackson.
Yeah, I saw it. 50 Cent was like, I'm going to make a documentary about this. Like immediately the second, and here it is. He did not lie.
Here it is. Trailer was released. This article was written today at 5 a.m. or posted today at 5 a.m. So
burning the midnight oil.
But there you go. That's what Netflix is up to, guys. Or James Cameron and Netflix is up to that's pissing him off.
Now to answer the question, I don't think he's out of touch at all. I do think he's very accurate, actually.
Yes.
I think his anger is poignant. I think that he's exactly right. The thing is, the problem is, and this is where this will never get solved, because this is where no one wants to touch. It's the middle ground. It's the gray area, because we're going to have to get creative to solve the problem, and nobody wants to do that. Yeah. Not a single theater chains don't want to come up with new stuff. The Academy doesn't want to change their rulings, and Netflix does not want anything to change. So they're going to continue lobbying it to stay as is, and they have all the money. So nothing's going to change because nobody wants it to. Not enough anyway. Yeah. So that's where it'll be.
I'd rather complain about it.
Right. Yeah. Indie developers don't want to lose their 10-day window. Netflix doesn't want to lose their 10-day window, even though they might want each other to lose a 10-day window.
Yeah.
And again, exactly. It's easier to complain than it is to actually do something about it. And you know what's really kind of agitating about this now that I think about it? James Cameron might have enough pull if he got his contacts together to actually do something about it. But
he'd rather complain about it.
But that's what I'm saying. But he isn't. It's James Cameron.
Yeah. He
could call Christopher Nolan. You know what I mean? Like, he could call all these heavy weights and say, hey, we're not making movies unless they're in theaters for longer than 2 weeks. And I guarantee you the Academy would make change and Netflix would make change and all this stuff would happen. But he won't. So that he is accurate. I don't think he's out of touch. But it's also like, then do something about it. But
I'm not going to say that he might not be. I don't know. This is just one article, right? I don't know what he's doing behind it.
He might not be
right. He could be calling Chris right now.
Could be. And listen, I would happily. I'm not like taking pot shots at James Cameron. I'm just making the point that like he's here complaining. I'm not hearing a lot of solutions. He's here pointing specifically at a major problem, but I'm not hearing solutions. And for me, it's like, unless you're giving me a solution to this major problem, when you're in a position to make the change, it's one thing if me and you are complaining about it, because what are we going to do, right? Like we can vent because it's not like we can do anything about it. But when it's James freaking Cameron, you are one of maybe 5 individuals who can make the call to actually do something about it, and you're not. That's where I'm at. It's like, okay, cool. Now, what are you going to do about it, Cameron? What are you going to do about it? He won't, because you know why? He makes a lot. He makes a lot of money off that same system that he's going to point out. Yeah. I don't want theaters to go away, but also Fire and Ash will make a lot of money on Disney Plus. Exactly what he's going to do. I mean, come on. Like, let's be real. Anyway.
Money.
Yeah.
And that's his main deal, is he can't do 4 and 5 without money.
Right. And that's why he needs it to do well in the box office, but also if it does really well in streaming,
Yeah.
he's still gonna make the movie. Like he's still gonna like I don't again. I'm sorry, I don't mean to harp on this. He is taking advantage of the very system that he's complaining about, and he's doing nothing to change it. Although he is still taking advantage. I move on. I'm done. That ends our second segment. So coming up after the break, we play Real or Fake and what you should know before you go. We will be right back. Hello and welcome back. You've made it to segment 3, which as always is our Real or Fake. We play a game where we go through some of the other headlines that happen throughout the week and we discuss whether or not the audience reaction or the internet's reaction is a real, legitimate reaction or if it's just an overblown fake take. And then we give you the rest of the tidbits of the weekend or the week, and we go through those and describe to you what interests us the most. We have, I think, 6 this week. 6 what you should know before you go quick headlines. But again, we're going to start with Real or Fake. Starting off, if it wasn't political enough this episode, we're starting at the White House. After a reported push from President Donald Trump himself, Paramount Pictures acquires the rights to the Rush Hour franchise and officially greenlights the 4th installment. Now, Jake, full disclosure, I made this one because I thought it was a funny tidbit. I'm more or less curious about your thoughts about this whole thing. Real or Fake? Trump is just one of the boys and loves a good movie, specifically Rush Hour. And this is totally not Paramount trying to keep in the good graces of the same government that would have to okay their potential purchase of Warner Brothers if they were to purchase Warner Brothers. Right. Trump just bro's just a movie buff.
Right.
Can you imagine walking into the White House into the Oval Office and you're like, Trump, my boy, Rush Hour 4 was great. He's like, I know it was. I know. I love me some Jackie Chan. Chris Tucker is phenomenal. He's the best. I've heard he's the best. Yeah. That'd be what a like surreal scenario, fever dream type of scenario in the Oval Office talking movies with President Trump.
Forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sorry.
I got lost in his skit there. It was I felt like I was in the presence of Donald J. Trump.
I got possessed for a second there. I'm sorry.
Jeez. Okay. Real. I think Trump has a very interesting letterbox.
I would love to see his letterbox more than anything.
I think he's got a very interesting one. I think he just loves a good movie, and a good movie is subjective. People like you can like a movie and it'd be a good movie to you.
I'll tell you, number 1 on his letterbox is Home Alone 2. And then it's probably some John Wayne. And then it's like Moneyball or The Wolf on Wall Street or something along those lines is his letterbox.
It's about to be the Diddy documentary.
Yeah. I gotta see who I pardoned. I don't know.
Well, he's got a lot of movies that he's acted in. Let's see here. Well, I mean, we all know that's the Home Alone one, right?
Right. He shaved Vince McMahon's head in a WrestleMania.
The Little Rascals.
What?
I'm just thinking like he was also in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as himself.
I think I've seen that. Yeah, I think I've seen that.
But what I'm saying is like his letterbox like top 5 is probably just the movies that he's in, and then the rest of the movies that he's seen. So he's only ever really played himself or a Forbes cover billionaire or
okay.
Yeah.
No way. He's only played himself? No way. He's that self-absorbed.
Who else is he gonna
no
play?
Way. Yeah. There's no one else I'd rather be. But no, I think this is real, but not in the sense of Trump's one of the boys. I don't think he actually likes movies all that much. I think that this is just Paramount saying, okay, just, but when we make this bid, you're going to approve it, right? Like that's it. They are bootlicking, groveling right now. That is what that is from Paramount. Believe what you want. I don't care your political beliefs. In fact, regardless of which aisle you lie on, we probably can agree on a lot. Like I don't like lie on one side or the other. But this is what this is. Like this is all just groveling so they could get what they want. Like I like this stuff. Like it cracks me up because it's like, you want Rush Hour 4? We can get Rush Hour 4. Dad, give me the money for Rush Hour 4. That old dude, what's his name? Guy that owns Skydance. I've said his name a ton, but that's exactly what happened. Please give me Rush Hour 4. That's exactly what happened. Any other thoughts on Rush Hour 4 and Donald Trump?
No.
For one, I like the Rush Hour movies, so I kind of am
Okay.
excited to see what they come out with. But anyway, the surrounding circumstances are unfortunate. Our second real or fake, if it couldn't get any worse after the politics and the Trump, we go to Sydney Sweeney, straight to Sydney Sweeney. Her character, Cassie, in Euphoria Season 3 will reportedly have an OnlyFans, much to the internet dismay and or excitement. You at home can tell us in the comments which way you lie about if you're excited or don't, actually. You can choose at your own discretion. Real or fake? This character arc for Cassie is literally just fan service to try and boost viewership.
Real.
Yeah. I agree. Very.
It's gonna work.
Yeah, it's going to pop off. I mean, like, it's going to make a ton of money, but people are for the wrong reasons. Like,
Oh, yeah.
who is looking at Euphoria? I'm being serious here. Who do we know that would be excited for Euphoria Season 3? Nobody. No.
I know one guy that's
No, not like that. I'm telling you. Who's looking at Euphoria and saying, that's such a great story. I love Euphoria. Come
I
on.
used to say that about season 1.
Maybe Season 1, but Season 2 and beyond.
I don't even know. I've never
That's
seen
what I'm saying. I did plug a quick link here to The Independent, and they have a timeline of the creators' controversies, because I remembered he created another series called The Idol, which was literally, quote unquote, labeled as torture porn. Lily Rose Depp and The Weeknd were starring. And there's a ton of controversies, like littered throughout this guy's career, of toxic work environments, sexism, like how he writes women in his series. And it's kind of obvious when you watch the shows or when you see clips from the shows that that's kind of how it's going to be. But I think that this guy is doubling down because The Idol was canceled very swiftly after its introduction because of those things, because of not only the controversies, but audiences were appalled by what the series was and what the terrible story. This was like 2022 or 3. Like, didn't last long. I think this guy's kind of get back. I think he's like, you know what? I have Sydney Sweeney OnlyFans. And he's like, I don't care. Like, he's doubling down on this terrible take. And I don't know what, I hate it. Like, I was going to say, I don't know what to think about it, but I do know what to think about it. I kind of hate it because it's like, what's the point then? Like, what's the point? Like, you have this story that people liked in season 1. Is the whole point just to sell Sydney Sweeney?
Hasn't her last 3 movies flopped?
All of them. Her last movie, Christie, was the worst. That had the second. No, its second weekend was the worst drop in money or like in sales of all time. Biggest flop of a film ever. And she was blamed for that by all of her co-stars and like all the producers and stuff. They say she literally ruined it. At least some of them went to the social medias.
How did she ruin it? Just
Because,
her following or something?
yeah, so they say, again, this kind of gets political. Some of the things she
Gene
said,
ad.
well, the Gene ad kind of started it, but then they asked her about it and is like, hey, like, you don't actually believe in like genealogy and like eugenics and like the proper genes. And she was like, I will never make a comment about whether or not someone's beliefs are incorrect. Like, she very specifically roundabout avoided saying that eugenics is bad. And a lot of people read that as, oh, she's a neo-Nazi. So it's like that's a lot of what happened. And then she turned around right after that and played a gay boxer. And so that is really the gist of it, is like the audience that would have sold to do not like her because she said some stuff that they found problematic.
Oh, yeah. Tom Cruise was spotted hanging out with her.
Another
Remember that?
kind of. I mean, Tom Cruise is problematic in his own way, but like
Yeah,
people still love Tom
well,
Cruise, but
tying the genealogy back to the
bro,
Scientologist.
Scientology, yeah, right,
And I was like, I bet Tom Cruise was like, I can get down.
yeah. He walks up, he says, "So good genes, huh?" She's like, "Yeah."
So me and the Scientologists were thinking.
Yeah. Crazy concept, okay?
So Anna wasn't down for it, but aliens.
What if can you imagine that?
The elevator pitch
On
to
the
Sydney
yacht.
Sweeney.
Yeah, she's laying there just like sunbathing. He's like, what if aliens? That's awesome. But no, I think going back to the real or fake, I think this is so real. I think that what's it, Sean Levinson, I think is his name. Yeah, Levinson. Or Sam Levinson, sorry. Dude completely he's selling out, and he's trying to make season 3 have as high a viewership as he possibly can so he can make another series, but he's also doubling down on his terrible takes. It's kind of how I view it, because he got in trouble for that, and now he's back doing it, like doing it again. So I don't know. You could be raunchy. Like, you could be fun and raunchy, but you can't be a terrible person and be raunchy, because then you're just a terrible person. And he's doubling down on that, and I don't jive with that personally, and I'm not a fan of that. So anyway, our last real or fake. Jake sent this one in, and I was really excited to talk about it. Harrison Ford is rumored to be in talks to play Carl Fredricksen in a live-action remake of Up if it were to happen. So real or fake, Jake, this would be the best animated film live-action adaptation casting ever. I made very specific. You cannot nitpick this one. Very specific. Live-action animated film to live-action, or animated film to live-action film, the best casting, go. Real or fake?
Fake. I don't know many off the top of my head, but I just don't know if it's going to be the best ever.
If you think like, so that's interesting. So when you think of like live action casting for these animated films, do you think that this has the opportunity to be that? So you're saying no entirely because you can't recall.
I can't recall, but I don't think that this casting for Carl Fredricksen is going to be the best ever. I just don't know what is the best ever. I just can't say that like this is purely off of looks. I mean, I like the idea of that Harrison Ford. I think he can play Carl pretty well, looks and acting wise. Like I actually am more excited for the acting than anything, because I think Harrison Ford doesn't have to try very hard to be
he just is Carl Fredricksen. Yeah.
And then it's still kind of an action movie towards the end there too. So I don't know. I really look forward to seeing him and seeing what Kevin turns out to look like in live action.
Yeah. My thing is, this is again the same gripe I have with all of these is it needed? I will say I think I am a little bit more receptive to Up than Moana, because Up has been 15 years, the same as like How to Train Your Dragon. It was the same thing as it's needed, but like I understand because it's almost 20 years, right? Like I could see why you do that.
Is
Up
that
was 2009 or 10, yeah. So almost 20 years. That's fine. I don't think that's a problem. You made a great point in the group chat when you sent this, is like he aged into it. He wasn't born for it. He aged for it, right? I think that was a poignant and perfect way to phrase it, because again, like Carl Fredricksen like is kind of like, you see that swagger of like an old Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford has kind of like become beloved. Not that he wasn't beloved before, but he's become beloved as like a secretly sweet man that like has just been playing this angry.
But he's cynical as hell.
Yeah. And so I think that like if he can play that, like just be himself on screen, take away like play the hurt that Carl, we know he has that range. So it's like, I don't know. I would be very excited for this. Again, it's kind of like if it happened, I'd be like, okay, you're doing it for money. I understand. It's been long enough in my mind. I think that you can refresh this a little bit, but is it needed? Because it's just like How to Train Your Dragon, WALL-E, Up. They're almost perfect stories. So unless you're just retelling the same story, and at that point, just live in the world that was already made.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My thing, I like the How to Train Your Dragon remake. I think that they cut out a kind of a crucial scene, which made me frustrated as all heck, and they're changing the story moving forward. Which again, that will probably add to the frustrations, which might bring me right back to the beginning of this shouldn't have even been made. But I don't know. I think that a rumor and an announcement like this, more or less for me, points to a bigger problem and a bigger topic of conversation than just Up and Harrison Ford.
Yeah. I don't. It is a Disney movie, and now that I'm starting to think about it, I'm imagining what this live action is going to be like, and I'm like, they're going to have Harrison Ford make a fool, not of himself, but it's just going to be Disney slop.
Well,
And
on one hand, you
hate-
have like Moana, the beauty that is the Moana trailer, and then
Yeah.
on the other, you get think like Pinocchio with Tom Hanks. That looked gross. That looked bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, what are you gonna? You're hit or miss with Disney.
I'm worried about like changing scripts.
Yeah.
Burned by Lilo style, right?
Yeah.
Changing too much, thinking that off the top of my head, I don't know what in Up would not work well today. This was 2009. And so if they
Yeah.
changed Lilo and Stitch for some reason, and they were talking about changing How to Train Your Dragon 2, who knows what they'll change in Up, whether or not for political sanctity or otherwise.
Spoilers for How to Train Your Dragon 2, so cover your ears at home. La la la, cover ears. I think they're changing the script so they can keep Gerard Butler on the cast beyond the second. I think that's exactly why. But going to this, I think you're right with the changing of the script. Can you imagine a Harrison Ford riding on Kevin, like in a CGI'd Kevin? Will that look good?
No,
I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, I think those will be the changes that are made. And again, something else that you pointed out too is like the story of Up in 2009 during the housing crisis. We're in a recession, and the idea of like Carl's house being foreclosed, not foreclosed because he never sold, but like the construction all around him trying to save his home. Like that hit hard back in 2008 and 9 because of the housing crisis. And we're still in a housing crisis today, but it looks a lot different, right? Like it's less the housing market burst and more homelessness is a problem. The unhoused or like that, the number of unhoused individuals is growing and growing and growing. So like, how will that resonate with today's audience? I don't know. Again, if it's kind of the question, and I'm not saying yes or no, because I understand from Disney, there's a big moneymaker there if they want to make it. And you can even make the argument that kids today should have an opportunity to see this new and to have this refreshed for them like the same way we did when we were kids. But the question always is, if it's the same exact story, should you even do it? I'll let you at home answer that question. I lean back and forth. My cynical side wants to say no, because just watch the original movie that the artist made. But also, I can understand there are reasons to remake it. But anyway,
they're gonna have to CGI Harrison Young.
Oh, Young. Oh,
Super
we've
young.
seen that already. Don't. Yeah, we have seen that already. Ugh, filth. The Indiana Jones, the last one, was really bad. I don't know. I think of also Doug. Like, will Doug just be a real dog, or will they probably will CGI him?
I think it'll be a real golden retriever.
I would love if it were real, but I guarantee they'd CGI it like the Jungle Book style. Like it would, like it looked good, but it would obviously be fake. But also there is a part of me that's like, rip my heart out again, do it, make it like the beginning sequence always like, oh, anyway,
with the score.
Oh yeah. How does that go? The piano.
Don't even try.
Boop, boop. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. It's like I keep thinking of boop 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 boop, but that's not it. That's not it at all. But yes, I do know. I remembered it. It hit me right in that moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is the end of our real or fake. We're going to run you through what you should know before you go. We're going to run through the 2 or 3 that interest us the most, and then we're going to get you out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Starting off, Callum Tucker is reportedly the frontrunner to lead Amazon's 007 adaptation. After all of that, they're landing on somebody, and it's not Tom Holland. Macaulay Culkin would be interested in returning to the Home Alone franchise as an adult Kevin McAllister, stating during a recent stop at the tour's name is A Nostalgic Night with Macaulay Culkin tour, which is a mouthful, stating, quote, "I kind of had this idea. I'm either a widower or a divorcee. I'm raising a kid and all that stuff. I'm working really hard and I'm not really paying enough attention, and the kid is kind of getting miffed at me. And then I get locked out. Kevin's son won't let me in, and he's the one setting traps for me." And that was according to Variety. Marcelo Hernandez and Skylar Gisondo, have been cast as Shrek and Fiona's sons, Fergus and Farkle, in Shrek 5. Sean Levy announces Thomas Newman of Skyfall, The Help, WALL-E, and 1917 fame as composer for Star Wars Starfighter. Lionsgate released the trailer for The Strangers Chapter 3. This is where I will start. This is the last one. I'm going to start with my opinions. Who on earth is still watching these movies? Who on earth? I didn't even know Chapter 2 released. We talked about Chapter 1. Chapter 1 was terrible. The comments on this trailer were, and I quote, "Didn't even realize the second one came out." Another one reads, "Why are they doing this? The Strangers, because we have been contracted for 7 more sequels," end quote. And lastly, the fact that the second movie just came out 2 months ago and we're having a third movie coming out is a blank miracle. Blank, blank miracle, end quote. The first two have a Rotten Tomato score of 21% and 15%. Why are they doing that? Stop it. Shut up, Lionsgate. No one cares. Who's watching The Strangers? These are terrible adaptations. These are terrible prequels. The first Stranger is a cult classic. It's fine. Chapters 1 through 3 of these prequel, I've seen some of them that were like, but the cliffhanger in Chapter 2 was good. It probably was. But also, who cares? It's like, no, this IP is so dead. Why are you forcing this out? Like, this is the opposite end of the spectrum where it's like, Disney, please let James Cameron make his life's work. Please let him finish 4 and 5. And then it's like, Lionsgate, shut up about The Strangers. Shut up. Stop. No one cares. Make Michael 2. Don't do this. They're going to do it. They're going to release it. They already paid for it.
I know nothing about The Strangers. I didn't know The Strangers was a thing. I looked it up and I was like, what? That is just Michael.
The original came out in 2006, I think, and it is a cult classic. It, like, these people pop up in your home wearing like masks and they threaten to kill you because they want something. Like, general gist. I don't want to spoil it for people. I don't know why I don't want to spoil it for people, but I won't. The other thing, this is like the prequel to all this. The first 2 were made at the same time, apparently, and they both sucked. And then the third one's coming out 2 months. According to the comments, I think they're being hyperbolic. I don't remember when the second one came out, but the third one's coming out like a very short time after the second one was released. Can't be good. Cannot be good. This is the opposite of production hell. This isn't heaven either. This is like, I don't know. It's like film.
Too good.
It's like, no, it's like film student stuff. It's like, all right, make it 3 of them. I don't care. Anywho.
But you've got like Lewis Pullman.
Buddy.
You don't know who Lewis Pullman is?
I know who Lewis Pullman is. That don't mean nothing. These films cannot be profitable. Come on.
But it's got... I don't know anybody else.
The Strangers Chapter 1, box office, Mojo. Strangers Chapter 1 made $48 million worldwide. That probably is profitable, actually. What was his budget? $8 million. Of course, it's profitable. Chapter 2's budget, $8.5 million. Same budget, and was shot back to back. In box office, let's see how much it made. 20. The sequel made less than half of the original, $21 million, but that's still profitable. Chapter 3. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of dead air. Production. I'm sure this one will be 8.5. What?
What?
3 films were shot together as one long movie with a combined budget of approximately 25.5. So about 9, about another 8-ish. So they're all about the same. We think this one will make 20 million?
For sure.
Oh my God. Kill
No.
it. Like I don't have a hate for the franchise, but come on. Like it's just beating a dead horse. You're milking a cow that never had. You're milking a male cow over there, buddy. Like there was no milk coming out of that from the beginning.
Milking a dead horse.
That's right. That's right. Somewhere, something like that. You want one of those phrases, how that works.
Moving on from something that nobody knows about. Home Alone. Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin. I see it working. However, the traps that were in the original Home Alones were far too gruesome to see a father and son duo do the same thing.
To each other, not together.
To each other. So that's my only caveat there is I would rather see them either team up or just, I don't know, him do the same thing somewhere else, not a home. Or I don't know. Then it's just MacGyver, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It cannot be as dangerous and as violent as the first Home Alone was.
I understand. I don't know. I kind of like the concept a lot, to be honest with you. The story. I think it's unique, the fact that like McAllister, or Kevin, I should say, he grew up to be the very thing that he fought against as a kid, and he's like got to relearn that lesson, but from the opposite perspective. I think that's really cool because it's like if he's working too hard and he isn't paying enough attention to his kid, that's the exact reason, or well, not exact reason. That's very similar to why he even was left home alone to begin with, was because the parents were workaholics. They afforded a house with 9 kids or whatever, their whole family, and there was all the children that everyone else was handling too. It's like that's why he was forgotten, and that's why he was able to do the things he was able to do, is because he was kind of overlooked. And if Kevin was able to do the same thing to his own kid, it would be fun to see it turned on him. But I would like it to be more than just like he got locked outside and the kid just started setting booby traps. Like there's got to be more to that, like more of the lead up, right? Like,
yeah,
I would like it if like Kevin's kid like planned for him to get locked outside. Like he got mad at him. And so like he kind of had preset the traps, and then he like locked his dad out when he was taking out the trash or something. And that's why that happened, is because the son was mad at the dad for something. And like there was more planning than just him getting locked out and the son's just like, whatever.
But electrocuting and like heating up doorknobs.
That scene was pretty funny though. You can't let. Oh, dude, I have the tar scene with the nail was awful.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, right? That's just.
Yeah.
I don't see it working with a father and son. I just don't see it like being that bad, that awful.
Right. Here's my thing as well with this is Chris Columbus, the director of the original 2, just said leave it alone.
Well,
Let it be. The other thing too is there are a lot of sequels to this. There are a lot of Home Alones with a lot of different kids outside of Macaulay Culkin, and they are not good. None of them. They're terrible, actually. So, this would be like the definitive legacy sequel. Like this could be like the definitive finish and finale to the series. But I don't know. The only way this would work is if Macaulay Culkin actually had a lot of input in the story and wanted to do it. I think then it's fine. But yeah, I think you have some merit as well. It's like you have to keep it kind of tame, remembering that this isn't some stranger trying to hurt him. This is his father. Like, will parents become too kind of like, ooh, to that if it is, you know what I mean?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. And yay, Thomas Newman's going to be composing Star Wars Starfighter. I don't know. It just seems like he's got good chops.
Yeah.
He's no other guy.
He not only does he have like a really strong portfolio, but like his array of films that he's worked on, they're all whimsical, or
Yeah.
they're aesthetic. Like, so I'm like the ones I listed here: Skyfall, The Help, Wall-E, in 1917. The
Across
music,
the board, just wide range.
the
First of
music
all,
makes those films. Like,
Yeah.
really, like Skyfall is the most legendary James Bond soundtrack of all time with Adele, right? Like you hear that in the Skyfall, like you still hear it. That's
Yeah.
this guy. Like he conducted the entire soundtrack. So it's like, yeah, I agree. I loved this when I saw it.
I think that's it.
I think one thing I want to talk on, I know I've talked a lot, I'm sorry. Marcelo Hernandez and Skylar Gisando. I think it's hilarious. And the internet is freaking out because they're like, we did it. We predicted the story so accurately that now they're having to add characters. And like,
Yeah.
like I think genuinely that's what this is. I think genuinely. I
And you
don't
know
wanna
who
live in this
Marcelo
world.
is, right?
No, I didn't take a look. I read the headline and I thought it was interesting.
He is the SNL guy who dresses up as like a jock or a Patriots
Oh,
guy, and his
yeah.
girlfriend's a bookworm.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's an SNL comedian, and then Skylar is from Superman. No.
Oh yeah. He plays. Yes. He
he's in
plays.
Superman. Yeah.
Yes, you're so right. I did see
Jimmy
that.
Olsen.
I
So
did
it's
see.
Jimmy Olsen and the guy from SNL. So this is gonna be pretty good casting. I assume they're troublemakers.
I did see Jimmy Olsen. That's why I remembered the name. I did see his face whenever they were doing the casting. So I was like, oh, Jimmy Olsen's in there. But no, I think great casting. I'm excited to see what the story ends up becoming. But it's just further, just the comedy that they're having to potentially. Because I thought it was weird that they're at this stage in the film and they're adding characters or they're just now announcing casting. I think the internet's right. I think that they called it like hit the nail on the head.
Said they hated that trope, and then they had to rewrite it.
Yeah. They were like, oh, DreamWorks is like, oh no, like we got to change it. No, I'm excited to see that like what the change is, because if that's what they're killing and they're going an original route, I think it's gonna be exciting.
I agree.
Anything else
I think you forgot to get on your soapbox,
about?
didn't you? Do you thank people for listening?
Oh, yes, you're right. I moved right by our soapbox. I was so excited for the real or fakes with Donald Trump that I completely forgot. I'm stepping up.
He's a conservative.
I'm
You can
stepping. Yeah. It's red.
It's red.
Anyway.
He's red.
Yeah. Stepping on my soapbox, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I won't do it as long because we are running a little bit long on time. But I do want to just say thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for listening and just for being here. The fact that you allow us to, again, sit here and talk for an hour and a half about the things that interest us and make stupid jokes and do bad impersonations and do our skits. It just means the world. I look forward to this every single night to hang out with these two amazing people that I get to make the show with and with you, because like you guys at home make this a reality, right? Like without your guys' participation and your viewership, this would be nothing. This would literally be nothing. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked our show, comment, subscribe, do the whole thing, right? Like, share, please share, because that does a lot for us. Those little things that you can do a world's amount for us. And especially comment. Tell us what you think down below. And Jake, you knew I was going to ask. You put yourself in this position. Yeah, don't do it now. Who are we talking to this week? Who are we going to tell them to go tell?
Your Uber driver.
Oh boy, I already have one cooking. You're at the bar. You've had way too much. You go up for another drink and the bartender's like, get out, buddy. Yeah, you're cut off. And you're like, oh, he even does a passive aggressive thing and he hands you the card. It's like, please leave the establishment. And you're just like, oh. So you walk out and you're like, well, now what am I going to do? Because you're drunk and you're sloshing around. You call the Uber driver. 2 a.m. You call the Uber driver and you're like, 45 minutes away? Oh, so you're just sitting there waiting.
An hour and a half away?
You're like, you know what I'm going to do? No, 45 minutes, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to watch this pod. Boop. Trump puts in headphones, drunk, sloshed, and you just hear me, welcome to Beyond the Screen. And you're like, yeah. Ah! Yeah. Then you turn it down because you forgot to turn it down from your music earlier. So you turn me down, and I'm yelling, and Jake is over here yelling as well. You look up, and your Uber driver's there, and you're like, oh. Get in the car. He's like, where to? And before he even gets done, he pops over. Before he even gets done, looking over the seat, all taxi style. You're like, Pod.
Ox is
Yeah.
going in.
I didn't even have an aux in here. The Uber driver's freaked out because you plugged in an aux super quick somehow. And you're just like, boop. And it's just me. So interestingly enough about Warner Brothers, and he's just like, get out of my car.
Enough about Donald Trump.
Yeah. The best. It's just me in the middle of my impersonation. The best. He kicks you out of the car. He drives off. But the plot twist is he turns it on as he's driving away. He's like, that was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
And that is telling your Uber driver about Beyond the Screen. Thank you guys so much for listening. Seriously, tell your Uber driver they'll love it if you tell them. I promise you.
Yeah.
Tell
That way we'll get more listeners because they'll just play it in the car.
Yeah. Who are these idiots? Like,
Yeah. And then all the riders will hear the podcast, and that's like minimum average 2 riders every 30 minutes. So
gold mine. We're not paying you Uber drivers, but do it.
Nope.
That's the end of our show. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.